Hello, everybody, and welcome back into the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 6 playoffs. We are here. It is the lower bracket final, our second to last series of the entire tournament. And that is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is all on the line for one of these two teams. One team will move on and face up against Elite Wolves, who have already punched their ticket and, of course, secured themselves $12,000. The other will go down and get third place in this tournament. And we'll still get a nice little payday for themselves. However, I think they want to get through and get to that best of 5 at the end of the road. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here on moonducktv. It's going to be a fun night. This best of 3 should be a lot of fun to watch. Of course, hopefully you guys are joining us after we already had Captain's Draft earlier today, which was a lot of fun to watch as well. But it is now time for your greatest NA versus SA matchup. It is compLexity versus Infamous here. My name is Ron. Joining me today, as always, is going to be Pitmuckle, our observer and producer, and just a great guy all around. And of course, Purge as well, who is just having a marathon day of casting. How are you feeling as this is, I think, your like 9th series or 9th game of the day or something like
third
that?
series. Luckily, actually, every other set earlier today, I believe, was a 2-0, but they're all pretty long games. So
so what are you complaining about? Come on.
It's my 5th game of the day. But I did about an hour of cleaning, made some lunch, and
Wow.
sitting down ready to do the last set of the day.
That is a lot of work for you, my friend. I take it
And
back.
normally I sit in the chair for approximately 14 hours a day, then get up, go to bed, my ass hurts because I've been sitting in a chair all day, and then I go to sleep and repeat again. So it's a great life.
That's the gamer lifestyle. I think a lot of us are doing that. I definitely am doing that, with the exception of like the 1 hour a day I get out and like work out or something. But other than that, really nothing else. So, but I mean, we get to watch great Dota. I mean, we have compLexity versus Infamous here. We've seen these two teams pretty fair amount. I don't think they've played against each other recently that I can remember, but it's actually a pretty funny story because Infamous, they were out of this tournament for a bit. Pain Gaming actually was the one team to move on from their group. And Infamous, due to the fact that Pain Gaming, I think, disbanded or just had to get out of the tournament, Infamous got back in. They played in, a couple of rounds, and they've made it all the way through the lower bracket. So this is a team, that, of course, that a lot of people are big fans of, especially the South American squad. They have a typical run-at-you lineup, and they have a pretty run-at-you roster here with their heroes that they picked up with Viper and Nature's Prophet already.
Well, they didn't get a dazzle with their NP like they normally do, so I'm a little curious to see what support they pair with it, or if it's just an offlane Nature's Prophet. I still think they're very likely to be doing aggressive stuff, like Nature's Prophet will be playing aggressive with a support rather than offlane. But what hero they're going to pair for, I don't know. The dazzle worked out really nicely. The bounty is also banned. I think compLexity's done the research, and they've banned the right heroes against Infamous.
Yeah, well, it also helps that they got trashed by Dazzle last night, by Elite Wolves, of course, team. So that was a pretty impressive playstyle coming out from the other Peruvian squad. And they'll pick up Lion for their rating team. So is that it? Is that the hero they're going to pair it up with, or what do you think?
I think Lion's a great hero. He's very good against IO plus Tiny, and he's very solid against Brewmaster as well, since you can prevent him from ulting for quite a bit longer in a fight, especially if you initiate. So I think Lion is more of a solution against Brewmaster and the combo with the IO Tiny than it is a lane partner for Nature's Prophet. He can work aggressively, but I think it's a lot better to put him in safe lane where you can guarantee some levels and get him 6-bit faster.
Yeah, that's fair. Levels are important for a lot of heroes, but in particular him as well. I think it's very important to get him up and running as quickly as possible. They have the Viper, obviously, the Nature's Prophet as well. So very run-at-you type of lineup. They've got a lot of damage coming out from all of their sources, but compLexity have a very tanky lineup themselves. The IO Tiny, first of all, with Overcharge, the fact that Tiny's inherently tanky here on Brewmaster, maybe even getting a Stout Shield early on in the game, of course, and getting, of course, his Drunken Brawler and Drunken Haze. This is already an inherently tanky hero that they love to run. Swindles loves to play it in the offlane. I think that's one of the few ways they do run it. So another team fight lineup, and I love it. I love the action. They're going to collide. It's going to be great. We're going to see blood everywhere. People are going to die. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Brewmaster's a little scared this game, though, because of mana drain from Lion. He's a hero that normally has some mana problems, so Lion with the disable plus the mana drain, I just feel like it's going to be a really good solution to Brew. But once the ulti comes out, Lion's kind of worthless. He doesn't do that much against the Brewmaster, so be interesting to see where the picks go next. compLexity looking for another support here, and for a potential carry. They need a carry, really.
Yeah, we'll see what well, the IO Tiny mid, safe laner, could be Brute for compLexity. I don't know. We'll see what Infamous are going to grab as well, as the next couple of picks are going to come out here. So the crazy thing is we could actually have an all-Peruvian grand final, an all-Peruvian best-of-5 series, which is very exciting. I'd love to see it for those South American fans. We'll see if that's going to be the case. compLexity is going to try to play the role of the word I'm looking for. I can never get the word I'm looking for, honestly. Spoiler, I suppose, is the one I'm looking for.
Batman.
Batman. They're looking to play the role of Batman.
I knew it. I knew that's what you're thinking of, dude.
That's
All
the one.
right, Earth Spirit picked. Okay, there has been a patch since
Yes.
the games this morning. Earth Spirit's Aghanim's Enchant Remnant. It's a very low range now, 150. It's basically a melee range, so
Right.
it's harder to use on allies unless you have a Blink Dagger. On enemies, it's probably still usable, but you have to Rolling Boulder into them before you cast it, which makes it a little bit harder.
Right. I mean, it defeats the purpose of pulling, I think, to a certain extent. You drop that enchant remnant down, and you can't like pull somebody and then kick them all the way back into the base. Which we were like, what? How did I just travel that far? I've literally gone a mile. You threw me like a football across the map, so that's great. But that's not actually going to happen anymore. They'll have to get up close, then they can kick them back, and that's about it. You're not going to pull them when they're right next to you. So I don't know. It's interesting. That's how I think about it, anyways. So.
It's not very high damage either, so it might be not very useful against Viper. I think Viper as a whole is quite good versus Earth Spirit, but I don't know. I don't really see how Earth Spirit massively fits in this lineup. Like, they're gonna get aggressively dual lane. Infamous is gonna play really aggressive, and I feel like Earth Spirit is a hero that falls behind a little bit in really aggressive play. Like, he can actually contribute a lot, but the only thing that majorly contributes in the early game is Rolling Boulder, in my opinion. Like, pre-4, basically, I'm saying. He has a variety of damage sources, he has a variety of utility, but I just feel like there's better tri-lane heroes and better roaming supports in most cases.
I think that's fair. And they had the pick of the litter, too, but Earth Spirit is interesting pick up here for compLexity Gaming. Another Spirit is picked up, this time on the side of Infamous, so they have plenty of Spirits in this game, which is very interesting pickup. That's going to be their, I guess, safe laner, because you want Viper mid. And, like, Viper is almost always mid. So safe lane Ember Spirit, which is not that uncommon, but still kind of interesting. We'll see how he performs. And it's interesting because they have a lot of early game damage, but Ember Spirit can also cover that late game if they get to that point. Like, Ember Spirit is very good with his level 6, getting remnants up, his early point Flame Guard, as well as Suit of Chain, so I like this pick a lot.
I don't think you'd want to put him against a Tiny Wisp. That's way too scary there to do that matchup, because any avalanche damage is going to be a lot, and they obviously have a lot of magic damage, they have a lot of right clicks, Zero is weak on armor. I think doing Viper plus that other support is a much better way to deal with it. Viper can just right click down Io and Tiny, both heroes have very low armor at the start, so I think the Viper is a good solution against that.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of heroes picked up against the Io Tiny. I like the Bristleback, I've seen that work out before a lot too, but it was RTZ playing it, so I think compLexity, they have a good draft. I'm not sure about the Earth Spirit. Brewmaster is always good for them whenever someone plays it. But now they need one more. Not support. Excuse me. They need their safe lane hero for compLexity Gaming. And probably Chessie's hero that he'll pick up, and we'll wait and see what that's gonna be.
What's a good Ember Spirit? Okay,
that's
a counter. Doom is very good. Not very good against Viper. I would say Viper is pretty good against Doom, but. The Doom to Ember Spirit is definitely one solution. They needed a really good Ember counter there because they just don't have very many stuns. So
that's true. Now they have a decent amount of lockdown with the Doom coming out. They have a silence with the Earth Spirits. They have a couple of silences. They have the Tiny Toss Avalanche combo. They have the Brewmaster Clap, which is an okay slow. But really, the question I have is, what do you build on Doom now? Like, what do you go item wise, or does it depend on the game?
Depends on the role as well, obviously, but Drum is pretty common to start off with since your base attack time is a lot lower, so you kind of need some agility and some attack speed to make up for that. So Drum maybe into... I don't think the Eggs Rush is good anymore at all. You can do something like Fast BKB, Blink, maybe you can go the mech build. I'm not entirely sure which way Dooms are going to build lately. But I think this game, he might just have to go carry items. Definitely a Blink Dagger so that he can Doom the Ember. I think that's one of the really important things he needs.
I'm fine with that. I like that, and we'll see if he's going to be building that later on down the road. And Undying is going to be picked up for Zeke Talk and Infamous' last pick here. So the lineup has been completed here for both squads. Undying will provide them even more team fight, and I mean, that's not really shocking, considering, again, we've talked about it. This team is a run-at-you style of Dota 2 team. It's not going to be easy to fight into this. Luckily, compLexity this is actually crazy. They have all strength heroes. Wow, that's nuts. Obviously, some tankier than others, but that's pretty interesting to know. I think that's kind of cool.
If they had like a Timbersaw, it would be amazing. I was like, what's the hero that counter strength heroes? Timbersaw.
Oh yeah.
Undying is also kind of good just because if he decays, they actually lose damage as well. But it's a small component over the course of a long fight. Like it does add up, but it's not as significant as that losing HP.
So how do you feel about this draft, or both drafts? I actually feel really good about Infamous' chances here, but then again, I have rose-tinted glasses. I prefer Viper pickers over most other heroes. So, what do you think?
Well, their aggressive dueling is very clearly going to be an Undyne with a Nature's Prophet, so I think that's pretty okay. It's going to do some harass here on Z-Freak.
Yeah.
He wanted to get the ward on the high ground, but I think he spotted out the Undyne, so he didn't want to place it because then he would have been spotted. So now he just has to rock away.
Yeah, he rolling bouldered into the river. I think he, like he said, wanted it on the high ground, and he'll rolling boulder back all the way towards that tier 2 tower, make sure he can get back into a good position. Z-Talk, in the meantime, will get his ward down. He TP'd up towards that lane as well. Yeah, I feel really good about this Undying Furion lane that you were talking about. I think that's a very good lane, and
it's actually kind of synergistic, really. I mean, the Soul Rip plus the Treants, it gives you a couple more Soul Rip targets. That part's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true. That is a very good
It does
lane.
up to 10 units. So at level 1, it's actually kind of crappy now if it's just 2 creep waves. You're not going to hit the max units, but with a couple Treants in the lane, you're talking more damage. Up to 180 nuke for 1 skill point is pretty amazing.
Yeah, we have seen instances where an Undying will max out Soul Rip first too, which is it's pretty common now, actually. I've seen a lot of teams do that. Maybe it's
Oh,
just
he's got the
Z-Talk.
taunt.
What is that thing? It's like dancing.
It's the new Undyne taunt, yeah.
That's hilarious. Funk of the Dead. Z-Talk's feeling funky. They will get the bounty rune for Qatar Hayamam in the top lane. And then the Brewmaster will grab it down the bottom bounty rune spot. Jesse, which is interesting, because it's usually Swindle playing that, but it looks like he's going to be going mid. They have a tiny IO top lane. All right, I like it. I like the shakeup.
I mean, I guess Brewmaster can kind of work against this. Evasion is one solution to Viper here. So he's grabbed Drunken Brawler. He'll probably grab Drunken Haze, at least 1 skill point early. That way, at least Viper misses half the time.
Yeah.
And that's one good solution to a ranged harasser is Brewmaster. It's been a while since we saw Brew mid, but it's not terrible. It transitions pretty nicely. It's got good teamfight. There's the Drunken Haze coming out.
Yeah. He's going to try to pop that up as much as possible, as much as humanly possible. Katara missed a couple of last hits, I missed a couple of right clicks. But still, I don't think Chelsea's going to have the easiest time. This is not that easy of a matchup at all.
The real one is going to be in the offlane, the Nature's Prophet plus the Undyne. Are they going to be able to get kills? Are they going to get pressured? I think it's going to be pretty good. If it's IO plus Tiny, they're going to rapidly run out of mana, and then their lane presence isn't very much. They'll just kind of get outlaned at that stage by right clicks and a couple spells.
Yeah, Limp did pick up a Stout Shield, so he's got some damage block coming out. Hanskin is looking to get his, I think, Bottle Ferried out soon. There's one of the Kerr. That is first and foremost going to Chesty mid so that he can spam out his Q and W button as much as possible. But yeah, this top lane. Eventually, the Nature's Prophet will get a couple more items and a couple more levels. You'll be able to right-click easier, and they'll get the double decays. Look at Z-Talk just running at Hanskin. He hits him like 3 times, and Hanskin is dead. And that is what happens when you give away some double decays up against the Undying. And if he had Tombstone, he could just dive his tower. He's going to dive it anyways, because they have Treants. Now they dropped the Tombstone down. It's just level 1. He just used it. Hanskin about to fall. Maybe not. Get to the tether off. The last right click will fly. They get the Avalanche going through as well. And Left is in trouble as well. He's got the toss. He can toss him back if necessary. Stinger on the hunt. He gets off the Fairy Park, and they still chase him down. Not quite in range for that decay, nor do they have the mana for it. So Limp will survive. But this is the lane you were talking about and how important it was for Nature's Prophet to get off to a fast start, and boy,
yeah,
that's it right there.
There's just not a whole lot IO can do. I think, honestly, the solution against this drafting style that Infamous does is you have to just pick a tri-lane. Pick a tri-lane and stomp their dual lane. But if you're against a dual lane and you're picking heroes that are in any way greedy, then you're going to get pressured a lot in the carry potential, and you're not going to have as much coming into the mid game.
Right.
But consistently what keeps happening is we see dual lanes of Infamous that are very strong versus dual lanes that are a little bit weak out of complexity or any other team that they play against. And it's really putting them in a bad spot.
Yeah. Complexity already getting off the bad foot here because of that. They actually were getting ganked mid, but they had a good push away coming out from the Boulder Smash of the Earth Spirit. Will run back up through the jungle. And they are going to turn this into a tri-lane and try to deal with this Nature's Prophet. Avalanche will go. They can try to toss back here. They're thinking about it. No, he missed it. He tossed onto Stinger. Maybe he just wanted to get the toss up anyways, but
yeah,
not
probably
quite getting that damage.
So I think one of the things that Infamous did in the drafting stage that allows them to force these aggressive dual lanes is they pick cores that are very survivable in 1v1s. Like Viper, for example. If you pick a Viper in a 1v1, it really messes up your opponent's picks, and it makes you think like, okay, I'm going to need to have a support mid to help out against the Viper. And by doing that, it relieves that pressure on the top lane, whereas they could have potentially had Earth Spirit or a better hero sit in the tri-lane and work things out. But with Earth Spirit as the support and Io as the support, that's 2 greedy support heroes. That's got to make it hard for you to defend the safe lane. And Tiny as well is also a bit of a greedy carry since he doesn't have the mana pool to be able to do a lot in the early game. So these picks and the drafting style of Infamous have put their opponents in a bit of a weird position, allowed Infamous to do what they're good at, which is aggressive dual lanes and get advantage from that.
And it feels like maybe you should just let that mid lane go. You just allow Chessie to last hit and do his best as possible. He's got 12 last hits. It's not like he's doing terrible, but they're going to go for the gank on top lane. Stinger about to fall. The Z-Freak Hanskin support duo will actually get the kill by rolling bouldering in and then using the tether to get some right click. Z-Freak is going to try to get out. Another tether will come through. They've got Tombstone. They have Soul Rip as well, but it's just level 1. And now Z-Talk's going to be in some trouble. There's going to be the rolling boulder coming through. He'll drop up the Tombstone. Chessie looking for maybe a potential Thunderclap. Can't quite get there in time. They will take the Tombstone down. They get the boulder smash off, and Z-Talk about to fall. Heaping it is going to be Stinger. Great Fairy Fire. He gets the Soul Rip off. He's staying alive. He's tanking up. He gets in a K off as well. They just can't bring him down. And finally they will with the boulder, rolling boulder coming through. Hanskin try to tether away as well. Meanwhile, Kotaro Hayama is coming in. Z-Freak about to get caught, and he'll get killed. Chessie's now in a bad spot. Hansi's going to try to tether away as well. His last right click from Kotaro Hayama will provide him a double kill. And so they get a kill up onto that Undying, but it took so much effort. They're going to try to get Chessie out of here, and it looks like he will survive. But down bottom, now there's a Searing Chain. Swindle in trouble. They don't have the Earth Spike. They've already used it. Good boulder smash, rolling boulder, and an Excel. Looks like he will fall, but Greedy will get that other kill on a Swindle in the meantime. Last right click. Z-Freak actually getting juked. Now Greedy's low. There's going to be the silence up. He's got one more bottle charge. Can Z-Freak get this kill? It looks like the answer to that question might be no. Looks for a rolling boulder potentially. He's just going to back up, I think. Guess what? Here comes Z-Talk. The fighting does not stop, but it finally will as he gets behind the tower. Dear Lord.
A lot of rumbling happening already. 4-3 now, so Infamous is slightly ahead in terms of last hits. They're pretty much even as well, so we hop over to the net worth. It's indistinguishable. They're within a couple last hits of each other at the moment.
Right. Which is actually kind of surprising, because I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but Infamous kind of came out ahead in that last engagement.
Maybe slightly. I mean, they are still getting trades. It's 4-3, so regardless of any kills they're getting trades in exchange. And the net worth is all so pretty close at this stage in the game, so any kills you get, or any trades you get, are pretty much equivalent in a lot of ways.
Right. They got the last hits and the kills. They got the double kill for Viper, which I thought was pretty impressive, but haste. Going to TP for the rune spot. He will grab a haste rune. He's got 1 point in spread if he wants to go on to Chessie, but that is not the target you're looking for. Excel will get off a pretty aggressive ward here over to the Roche Pit. And it is 6 minutes in. Limp, how many last hits he's got? Well, he's going to go for the kill, more importantly. Toss back onto Z-Freak. He's in trouble. Z-Talk left, drop the Tombstone down. He'll get it down. The Soul will go as well. They need a couple of right clicks. Stinger has actually roamed in as well with the haste rune. They'll pick up Z-Freak with his right click, and Hanskin's down, taking so much damage from Stinger, was picked up phase boots and an ult talent. Last right click will go. Now they have to get out. Avalanche will get one, but not the second. Limp will get his girl level as well. And he's going to try to find this kill. He's got Toss up and ready to go. He'll pop it off. Last right click. And Limp will actually secure himself a double kill after losing both of his supports. It was looking bad there for a moment, but he turns it around.
Yeah, as soon as he got his ultimate there, he increases his movement speed by 40, which is basically an extra boost. So there was no way that Undyne was getting away after that. So the first kill leading to the second was completely standard.
Oh, the split will go. God, there's fighting everywhere. Not that I'm complaining. Kotaro Hayama's going to get hit with the boulder toss. They've got the Cyclone for whoever TP's in, but he still wants this kill. He's very tanky, though, with 3 points of corrosive skin. He pops the stick charge, and now Chessie has to say, no, I don't think I could go for this. But great body blocks from Stinger. They're going to catch him out with the Sprout. There's going to be the Hex as well. The last right click will do the job from Stinger. And that was not the greatest fight. Also, he had his buckler. He just pops the buckler, and that's it. He can't do any damage to him.
It's this really smart item build from Kotaro here. He went all armor items. He got Aquila first, and then he got the buckler, so that when the Bruise split came out, the damage was just going to be pitiful, and that's what happened. He was at a like 60%, 50% HP, but the split just doesn't do anything. It's better at disabling it in the early levels than it is about doing damage. And with all these armor items, he stays alive. He's got the max corrosive skin, and he tanks it up and doesn't take much damage overall.
Got the best of both worlds, armor and magic resistance coming through. So it's very difficult to kill him without any armor reduction, and they have none of it. At least not yet, anyways. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Swindle is about to get ganked. They're looking to go for the high ground, but Z-Freak's actually going to come in with the rolling boulder. Stinger's got a TP in as well. Great silence. They get the Doom off. That'll be onto Greedy. Can they bring him down? They'll try to focus on Excel, but Z-Freak's actually going to get into the Roche Pit, try to juke and jive. Swindle will be left to kill Greedy here. Great Soul Rip, though. He still has a couple more ticks of that Doom. He's about to fall and will. And now the trade is worth it. Swindle will try to get out. He'll have to TP away. They have no way to stop this, and he'll be able to make himself vanish, but they will lose the IO as Excel came through with Kotaro Hayama getting the last couple of right clicks. So it is inevitably a 2-for-1 trade when it's all said and done.
There's a Ring of Health on Viper now. What is he building with that? Is this like
Vanguard.
I mean, it's
Could be
possible.
Crimson Guard. Yeah, could turn into a
Oh
Crimson
yeah,
Guard
Crimson
later.
Guard, Buckler and a Crimson. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I was thinking maybe something else, but yeah, Vanguard is actually an item that Vipers were building for a week or two in the pro scene. It kind of phased away, but the fast Crimson Guard gives you some pretty solid damage block. When you activate it, the damage block is the same whether you're a melee or a mage hero. It's actually very good against Brewmaster, just for the fact that Brewmaster is going to be hitting with a lot of player-based damage sources, so blocking those all up basically is really going to limit the damage of complexity.
Their chains will hit, will connect, and RNG there. Sting will go to work on the right clicks, and Limp will just try to hightail it out of there, avoiding the toss avalanche. Kind of juked it a little bit. Limp now has the tether and the overcharge coming through. There's the sword, doesn't quite kill him. They're looking for another series chain. He couldn't get it off. Now the boulder smash. Gritty's low.
Oh.
He might fall. The last right click for Hanska will do the job. Stinger and Z-Talk will walk out, it looks like. Meanwhile, mid, Viper chasing after Chessie. He'll pop the stick charge, and he's just too fast. And Kotaro will not be able to secure that kill. And so a couple of ganks going awry for Infamous, and complexity will take a big kill onto Greedy yet again, who is below halfway in terms of the net worth.
Oh, he's having some trouble here.
That-
Lion looking for a smoke gank. He's level 6 here. He was hoping to catch a Limp on the retreat. He's got Finger of Death. Anybody he finds is very likely in trouble. Z-Freak could be the guy that they're going on. It looks like it, at least.
Z-Freak's gonna get caught. There's the Earth Spike coming through. Nature Trap. Finger, see you later. Just pokes him right in the face with that R button. Easy kill. Chessie will rotate back, and Katara will go toe-to-toe. There's the Drunken Haze. So that was a solo roam from a Lion that actually worked out very well because he had his finger up and ready to go. He was level 6.
Yeah, that skill's so amazing on a support. Does 600 magic damage. Combo that with your Earth Spike, and you're doing 800 magic damage with your ulti. It's such a long cooldown, though, but getting the first kill with it is really what's important. You get it on cooldown, you prepare it for the next gank, and getting yourself as much golden experience as you can with it.
Yeah, so
Got a
they'll
haste.
secure the kill. Now Chessie with the haste rune. There's the rolling boulder, and can they bring down Qatar Haima? Great stun up as well. He's low. He'll pop the Viper Strike off. They don't get the silence in time. They've already taken down Excel. They pop up the ultimate coming here for the Brewmaster. Hoskins low. He is relocated, and Gritty will get off the Serik Chase, and he'll fall. Meanwhile, Qatar Haima trying to find out Z-Freak. Now the toss in, and he will fall to the boulder smash in the last right click. Tiny gets up the double. Can he get more is the question. Brewmaster ult's about to fall down. They get the Doom off onto Gritty again. He'll fall another time. And now up in the air with the Cyclone is Z-Talk. It will be a 4th death. And complexity, well, they're dealing with this run-at-you style very effectively coming up from Infamous. They'll maybe transition this into a tier 1 tower. They'll try. Stinger is in the enemy jungle. Limp seems to not know. Maybe he does. He's got a blink up at the ready. And they've pinged him out. They've got the overcharge of the tether now. Oh, he can't blink. Yes, he can. He gets it off inside. Avalanche will hit. Can he get the toss back? He gets it onto the creep instead.
He really needed a vertical toss there. Alright, that'll help.
Good tether. There's a TP coming in from Greedy. He's actually going to go for the Remnant 4. Look for Honskin. Doesn't get the series chains on him, and Limp's too tanky at this point. It is Battle Royale.
You can kill this guy in 3 seconds. He's going to have Avatos.
Yeah,
You've got to be careful.
They will back up. At least Z-Talk will go with Greedy as well.
And Greedy's rotations have just not been efficient so far. He's making slightly bad calls in who he tries to kill, and he's not getting the kills.
Been an impressive play coming out from these heroes on complexity. Window will look for Excel, won't find him, but we'll see what else happens. Meanwhile, Chessie and Greedy eyeing each other deductively. One wants the kill, the other was just trying to get some farm here. Relocate mid, and Qatar Hayama is going to be in some trouble. They don't have Doom available, nor does he have the mana, but he dies almost instantly with that Avalanche Toss combo. Now Excel's going to get caught with the clap. He's got that double damage rune. He will not use it, though, and he'll go down, and Stinger will fall as well after TPing in.
Man.
And Complexity are the ones running over Infamous now suddenly.
I mean, they did get to practice against Elite Wolves the other day, and they seem to have figured things out a little bit. They just are bursting down their opponents, and they're surviving the few nukes that Infamous has. Maybe you can blame their draft a bit, because right now the Ember Spirit is not really paying off, but the burst damage of Complexity is enough. They're working down Viper consistently.
Yeah,
He doesn't yet have his Vanguard yet. That could be a huge issue. Like,
yeah, I mean, he had a great start, but they put the pressure on the Viper right when they should have. I think Viper has a really good landing phase, but if he doesn't get involved in a couple of kills or team fights, or if he dies a couple of times during those said team fights, all of a sudden he starts falling behind. He can't farm that well. He farms heroes usually at this point in time, but they've been farming him. And so now, because of that, they've gotten so many items for Complexity. You look at it, they've got a point booster plus the blink for Limp. They've got another blink for Chessie, which they got pretty early on. Vlad's is up for the Swindle Doom. And so they're getting those next set of items, whereas Infamous, they're not quite there yet. At least, well, Stinger has a dig in, but that doesn't count.
And even that item I think is a little bit of a mistake to have because it might work if they burst down the IO, but against all these, I mean, it's a team of 5 strength heroes, right? It's the worst time to get a Dagon because they're all going to have naturally really high HP. So I just don't know if the Dagon is the right choice here. It doesn't synergize much with the rest of Infamous's lineup. They don't have that many burst heroes. So the Dagon doesn't really synergize here. I think there's a lot of other things he could have bought.
It's not great. What do you think you would have bought, or in this situation, what would you prefer on the
even like a Deso or something like that instead might be really good because if you're against strength heroes who are really tanky, you get some minus armor. It's obviously not as bursty, but I think something like a Deso might have been better.
Provides that consistent damage, allows your teammates to chew through complexity's lineup when they really just are very tanky, and they do have a decent amount of armor now because the Blast is coming out. And they're just tanky overall, so... Well, for now, they will pick up that Crimson Guard finally, which is good, but there still is a lot of damage coming out from just, you know, non-right-click sources. You have the Toss Avalanche combo, Z-Free can come in and drop the Magnetize, they have Doom, among other things, so... It's not great that they got this a little bit later than they would like, but they can maybe try to do something here. The split push is coming in, though. Swindle's slip pushing bottom. Meanwhile, top lane is getting pushed out by Limp, who's just about got his Aghanim Scepter already at 15 minutes into this game. They will try to go. They'll find Hanskin here. There's the finger of the Dagon as well. Last right click will fly, and they'll pick up the kill. They get off the second level of grow, but here we go. Remnant Searing Chains in. This could be good. They get the Hex off as well. Earthspike will fly onto the ground. The last right click will go. It'll be Stinger getting a mega kill spree, allowing him to finish up that Midas, which is what he's inevitably picking up now. Or perhaps the Maelstrom, but more than likely Midas.
It's really a nice gank. They did the slow up to interrupt the blink on the Tiny, and then they followed up on the Wisp, and then they chased the Tiny down. Really nice ganks there by Infamous, getting them some big advantage. They can maybe pressure the tier 1 tower with this, but if they didn't get those 2 kills right there, I think they just would have been...
Oh, great double Earth Spike coming out as Swindle and Chester were both trying to TP home. They were not successful in doing so, and this will allow Kotaro to go toe-to-toe with Z-Freak, but they're going to turn on this.
There's a fight as well. Viper might get a double here. Oh, it looks like it.
Yeah, Z-Freak's about to fall. Good tether, rolling boulder away. Last right click will go and grab the kill. He was trying to smoke away from it, but he will go down and not destroying it. I can see what he was going for there. TV back in. That was a great double stun down bottom from Excel to make that fight a little bit easier for the Viper.
Just he might be able to get a kill here. Stinger's getting a bit low, but okay, they can just doom him if they really want to.
They've got it. The Infernal Blade will fly. They're going to get the Avalanche off, and they don't even need the Doom to come out. Nice kill.
Infernal Blade's so good, man. It does base 40 damage for 4 seconds, so that's 160 damage. And it does an extra 5% of their max HP for 1 skill point. That's so good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ability. When they replaced it with, or when they replaced Level Death, I was like, doesn't this seem actually like a good ability? I thought the whole point was to nerf the hero, but that's maybe not the case.
But it's not, it doesn't combo as well for just range bursts. Like, it makes more sense in a way. If this guy's a big-ass sword, he better be hitting people once in a while, you know?
That's fair. Well, they're going to grab Roche now. They pick up the Midas for Chessie, excuse me, and he'll have it flowing out now, but also is going out here for Viper and the rest of the crew on the Radiant side. They picked up the Midas for the first Stinger. They've almost got the mech for Z-Talk. They're getting there. Going Boulder. Uh-oh, there's going to be a fight at Roche. There's going to be the Earth Spike. They're going to jump in. Greedy got the Aegis! He might lose it here momentarily, but still, the split will fly out. Limp, he's got his tree now. He's got the Aghanim Scepter. The Doom will come out. That'll be on a Stinger. He'll fall almost instantly. The Shockwave. Greedy, last right click, and they get it. He'll use that Aegis up, but look at the Tombstone. There's so many zombies, and Katariyama's coming with a huge Crimson Guard. They've taken down 2. They'll buy back on a Hanskin. They're chasing even further right now after Swindle has got no mana left in the tank. The Searing Chains will fly. Greedy will go to work with his right click. Skutaro will pop at the Viper Strike. Great relocate, though. And Swindle will stay alive. Hanskin might not be so lucky. It looks like it will be a dieback for him, but mission accomplished. They might actually fight this. Chase is going to get caught. They get the Hex off as well, but there's the relocate back in just from Hanskin. They TP'd in. Swindle's ready to go. The figure will fly out. Hanskin's going to stay alive. They're going to bottle himself up. No urge charges. Wow.
He had like 50 HP, so it was close, but not extremely close there. Bernie, and that was level 1 Finger of Death, by the way. Another 160-second cooldown on that ability. Yeah. So really nicely fought by Infamous either way. They stole the Aegis, nicely done by the Ember, and that Tomb, man. They just didn't anticipate that. They really thought they could take the Aegis in time. They couldn't, and it being stolen just messed everything up.
Yeah. And it's not just that. They got the tier 1 tower before they rotated the Viper into that fight. Viper came a little bit late, but that Aegis was huge. They would have killed Greedy instantly had he not gotten the Aegis. Maybe not instantly, but he died the first time. And that would have been huge for compLexity to continue on and continue that fight. But like you talked about, the Tombstone came through, everything aligned. And now we have just about an even game. It's about a 2,500 net worth advantage for compLexity, but it was once a 7,500 net worth advantage. And to get back into the game even more, Infamous will smoke down to the bottom lane. They'll look for Swindle as well as Z-Freak, and they might find 2 kills here. Z-Freak might just back away. Excel, his smoke is broken. Swindle is going to run right away. Boulder Smash will fly through. Yes, Shadowblade. They're going to maybe try to get out of here. They're going to TP in with Stinger. Stinger Chains will fly through, but it will not connect. Actually, it will as he rolling boulders away. They can't quite find that kill, but Stinger actually dies to Tiny top lane. And they get the courier as Swindle was on the backside, shadowblading it up, and he'll find an extra piece of gold going his way.
I mean, they didn't even have detection. He just actually had to shadowblade and he would have lived.
Yeah, that's pretty damn nice. And they can actually converge on this. They're thinking of a fight. Here's the relocate coming through. Boulder smash in. There's going to be the sounds. Gritty gets doomed up. Oh, God. They focus down almost instantly. Infernal Blade onto Z-Tuck. You will not make it out, my friend, either. He'll pop up, I think, the stick. He has the mech. He can't get it off. They've lost 2 heroes plus the 3rd. They relocate back top. Viper's here. Toss will go through. He's playing a little bit aggressively. Fighting like crazy. I love this game. This game's amazing.
Yeah. It was nice for them to fight there, but the reason it happened is because they saw the Viper TPing. So if Viper TPs, that means that the remainder heroes bottom are not going to be 5. So they go to engage, they relocate the other 2 heroes, and then it becomes a 5 versus whoever's left over. So just a bit of tactical mistake there for Viper to be spotted by the Doom there.
Uh-oh, speaking of Viper being spotted, he's been scouted out by Hanskin as well as Lim. Great Sprout will keep him alive momentarily, but they jump it with Chesney. Last right click, he'll fall. Back and forth we go. Steer getting chunked out. Toss 2 tree trunk hits. And boom, see you later. Boulder Smash will fly through. Excel's going to get hightail his way out of this fight. He's like, I have Tranquil Boots and an energy booster. Please don't focus me down. Instead, Greedy might be the target. Do they have Doom back up? Not for another 63 seconds. They do have Split, and Swindle is shadowing him. He's got that Infernal Blade at the ready. And there it goes. Boom, stun. Avalanche will fly. Tosses up as well. And they get the kill. His Flame Guard cannot provide him with damage of that magnitude from compLexity. I want to make love to this game. That's how good this game is right now.
Whoa. That was a big jump, man.
Yeah, you know.
Is it because it's one-sided, Mont? Is that why?
No, it's not one-sided. That's the thing. It's amazingly back and forth. Look at the net worth graph. You know, there's one fight taken by one team, another fight taken by another team. Sure, there was a big dip for compLexity's paper both now and a couple minutes before, but it is back and forth like crazy. I don't know, man.
It really has been. I think Infamous had a lot of advantage in the early game, but lately compLexity has just been doing much better. In my opinion, all their fights have been superior. The only exception is Infamous dropping the Tomb. Like that did a huge amount in that early team fight. But I just see Infamous taking a lot of fights that maybe seem to be a little bit over presumptuous. Viper picks up a Demon Edge super early. I think this is just gonna be the fastest MKB ever on Viper.
Yeah,
and it's not a bad choice considering the evasion that's gonna be coming out of the Brewmaster. Brewmaster just keeps casting Drunken Haze on Viper. It makes his hero pretty worthless. So he's got to rush the MKB.
It's actually pretty nuts that he will go for it this quickly, but they need damage, and I understand why he's going for it here. But they'll try to find Z-Freak up. There's the Boulder Smash coming through. The rest of his team can maybe relocate in, except Hanskin's right next to him. Tether him up. There's the air spike. Hanskin might actually have to relocate out. He's not going to get it in time, even if he tried. So they'll lose their Earth Spirit, but that's not a big deal.
Kind of a cool build on Nature's Prophet. He's going to go Veil plus Dagon. And he did get Midas after the Dagon, by the way. So yes. His overall farm rate won't be decreased by his Dagon purchase. So kind of a cool build, just because there is a lot of magic damage coming out of Infamous. It's basically what, not zombie damage, but the Undyne does some magic. They've got a Dagon and an ulti out of Prophet. Ember Spirit is almost all magic in the early game. Viper's all magic damage mostly. Lion's a lot of magic. It's kind of an interesting build. It's kind of similar to like a mech Prophet, but also is Auron just not a terrible item? Gives him like, what, 18 int? That's an 18 damage item while also amping up your Wrath of Nature and your Dagon. I kind of like this build. It's very weird, but I think it'll work.
Fight-oriented Nature's Prophet, which is very... Yeah. This is what I love about Furion. He just has so many different, like... Well, hold that thought. Is 3D's dead again, top lane. Oh, God. He is having the roughest Ember Spirit game I've seen in a long time.
He's also not gone Boots of Travel. He's opted for Power Treads instead. A little bit of an interesting choice.
Yeah. I guess he could be a bit tankier with it onto Strength Treads, but he just got jumped in. He's on agility. It's not like he could have done much there anyways, but That's the one issue. I think if Infamous lose this game, it's gonna because Greedy just did not have the best farm and he got shit down pretty early.
Yeah, I think he definitely engaged in a lot of fights that weren't very good for him, and he went for kills that were difficult to get. He has not been super refined. He played really good the other set a couple days ago, but I think this one he's been a little bit hit or miss.
Greedy usually the off-lane player for Infamous, but it feels like they switched up some of the roles because Stinger has just joined the team, at least as a stand-in for now. So we'll see how things turn around here for Infamous. They've had a great run. They're still in here in game number 1. It's a little bit less close than it was earlier. 12,000 net worth advantage coming up for compLexity. But yeah, it's Limp also picked up a Manta Staff, which is interesting.
Dude, Chessie's got an Ags already. It's pretty amazing.
Oh god, that's
with that Ags picked up, I really would like to see him skill more Drunken Haze here. His HP is already good enough, his mana's good enough, it's time to get Drunken Haze. He can use that during a team fight on Ember Spirit or somebody. It'll be really useful to give him his chance. But the Ags is just so good, man. If you can do like Blink Clap, Ulti Clap, that's some damage.
That's a dead line, more than likely. Courier will fall as they lose it, I think, from the backside of Stinger. Zephyric's also going to get absolutely destroyed as he gets air spiked, and that's that. Swindle's going to jump in with a Doom, though. They're going to relocate on this. No, they're actually going to the base. Kiss is going to come in. They'll get the clap off. They'll drop the Tombstone. There's going to be the split, or a split will fly into Swindle. He's already used the Scorched Shift. He's regenerating up. There's going to be the Figure of Death. The Infernal Blade keeping alive, but the Tombstone might break down. They'll get 2 kills. And they're going to get the Tombstone as well.
Oh, what a huge mistake. He tried to save his nuke for it to heal himself, but now Swindles is going to live unless he gets Dagoned here.
Oh, Stinger's looking for it. The Shadow Blade comes out, and Chessie will be the receiving end of the Shadow, or rather the Dagon, and now Stinger has to sprout up, but he does not have a TP scroll. Swindle will eat his way through the tree line, Infernal Blade up, and hit him in the back of the head with it to grab a stun and a kill, and they'll lose their racks in the top lane, and then relocate out as the Tiny was getting focused down. What's happening?
compLexity just absolutely stomping these guys. I mean, Infamous is making slight mistakes here. Their burst damage isn't quite enough against all these tanky heroes. Again, you don't go burst damage lineups against large tanky heroes like strength heroes. And Wisp as well. It's very dangerous because they're just naturally gonna have more HP. If they survive the burst, they'll probably heal up a little bit afterwards, and then you're like, oh, I just used all my spells, and they're still alive. This is bad.
Yeah, and they couldn't even kill the Wisp, as JJ pointed out. He relocated the Tiny out top lane, and then he literally tethered and walked away from Kotar Hayama, and with no, consequences whatsoever, which not great. I mean, you can't find a kill on the Wisp. It's not a good game so far, and they were doing okay. Infamous were staying in it, but at this point, because Greedy is so far behind, they have a 50,000 net worth disadvantage here, deficit, if you will. I mean, it really comes down to, I think, one more team fight. If compLexity wins it handily, they're probably going to win this first game.
Yeah, they're just so ahead. Like, Doom as well, he's got like 4 items. A lot of them are mid-tiers, but to have a Shiva's Guard at this stage and reducing all of your opponent's attack speed by 45, like, that's incredibly efficient.
There is that MKB. That is one damage source going the way of Infamous, but I don't know if it'll be enough now with the BKB picked up for the Brewmaster and all the other items coming out. They have plenty of armor.
It's got a BKB. It does do magic damage when the mini bashes come through, so if they are magic immune, it's not going to hit them. But at least against Doom, I think the MKB is going to be a bit better if he gets enough bashes. Such a weird Viper build, but I think it's correct this game.
Yeah, I mean he's done a good job. I think provided them a lot of kills, but again, there's a lot of armor coming up for compLexity. That's the biggest issue. Tough. compLexity
will be trying to take their Roshan, and I think they're going to get it this time finally.
Yeah, this will be a successful Rosh. And their first stages of this game. Olympia's building into the Assault Cuirass, which is not that far away from me. He actually just needs the 2 big components. And
he did get a Manta, though. I think this is probably because he doesn't have to worry about Syrian Chains in team fights. Because if you're just not moving for 3 seconds, it can really limit your damage potential. So removing that, maybe dodging Viper Strike. He's got a couple different ways that Manta style will be really useful. It doesn't increase your damage very much. The attack speed part's really good, but your illusions actually hit quite soft. So it's all around an item that he can absolutely afford to do because they're winning so much.
It's a bit uncommon of a choice, but you explain the reasons why, and it does give you some movement speed as well. Not that much, but it does give you some.
Yeah, that part's nice. It's actually quite good for that due to Grow giving you a total of 60. So you're way faster than normal, plus you put the extra attack speed or movement speed on top of that, and you've got a really fast hero. So running at 429 without the tether from Wisp.
Yeah, and it's going to be much, much worse, both attack speed and movement speed wise, at least for Infamous when he gets that tether back up. And he was a lot closer to that Assault Cuirass than I made everyone else believe, because it must have had it on the Courier. That's frightening as all hell. So they have a full now Silver Edge for Swindles, AC for the Limp Tiny, and they're going to try to split push bottom. And if they get into the base, it's pretty much game over, as they'll lose that Rex and tier 3 tower insanely fast.
Swindles is just so farmed, man. He's critting for like 700 on creeps. Great deny there.
Wow, that's impressive.
But he's got a Silver Edge, which means he can remove the passive of Viper, and Viper will die rapidly.
Yeah. You're right, no corrosive skin, and 4 points of that gone. That's 25% magic resistance that you're now just missing completely. Also
Not to mention
really
with
for the move slow.
Yeah, and with Inferno Blade as well. Just think how much damage that is. Hitting with Silver Edge while applying Inferno Blade and running you down for 4 seconds.
Going to be a lot of damage dealt immediately, like maybe half health, maybe not that much, to a lion or something like that, but to a lot of heroes really. Like there's not that many tanky heroes currently on complexity, or rather on infamous. So here's, I think if complexity just take a fight, and a fight that favors them, they're going to be in a good spot. Greedy just he jumps in, I think, or rather he got jumped on. I'm not sure what happened there. He was a little too far out. They jumped in on him, but he will not go down. But this will leave the bottom tier 3 tower door open wide for Limp to go ahead and hit. Meanwhile, Viper strike up in the top lane, looking for Swindle. Can't quite find it. Now it's headed down to the low. Yeah, he's about to get doomed up. Right click down. There's now the split to zone out bottom lane as well. Fights happening all across the base to lose 2. They're about to lose a third with Swindle grabbing that kill on the Viper in the top lane. I don't know if you can call it the top lane anymore, as he's already in the base. And that is it for game number 1. Complexity absolutely outrunning at Infamous here in this first game.
Man, they just stomped up so much in mid-game team fights. Like, Infamous had pretty straightforward items and stuff, but Complexity had tankiness and they had burst damage, and their burst damage was superior to the tankiness of Infamous. And once they started winning team fights one-sided, Viper's not able to endlessly tank. They just started getting stomped. And I really think that Greedy dropped the ball in this game. He did not accelerate very fast. His GPM was very low in comparison to where it should be, and he wasn't able to carry for his team. So I'm going to put this game on Greedy, I think, which is maybe a little unfair to say because it obviously is a team effort, but I feel like he underperformed the most on his team there, and they would have had a much better chance of winning if he was making good decisions and farming efficiently in the early game.
That's fair. Greedy not having the best game, and he finished up his Battle Fury eventually, but he actually sold everything to get there, so that's one of those games for Greedy, dying a total of 6 times. Not as much as Stinger, but still Stinger actually contributed pretty heavily to the early game. So Infamous, they're looking to rebound here for game number 2. We will take a quick break. We'll jump into our Dota 2 Canada Cup post-game report as we are here with our second to last series of the tournament. We'll jump into a quick break and we'll jump back into the post-game report as soon as possible. So stick around, guys. We'll see you soon.